spending public money that make purchasing extra staples just a pain in the butt. You wouldn't believe the work that goes into paying for some of this stuff, and that's just for things that we can do on our own. If there is someone that you want to work with that's not already an approved vendor for the city, there's a form that they need to fill out. There are various documents that the city might need. They would have to sign an affidavit that they are participating in an E-Verify program, which relates to hiring practices for contractors with the city. There are rules about procurement processes that we have to follow. If there's a contract or an MOU or an agreement that is required, that has to be drafted by someone, legal has to review that, and the right folks in the city have to sign off on that. So I just don't want any of you to get kind of out over your skis and to commit the commission or yourself to something before the city knows it's something we can do. So having money budgeted for events is one thing, but there are all sorts of rules that apply to actually using the money. It's a pain in my butt in my office. And I just want you all to work through staff first so that we can make sure what you have in mind is something we can do and that we're involved in the process so that if there's a contract or anything like that, there's no surprises at the end. So I think that's all I wanted to report on. I know there are probably specific questions related to each of those events that folks might have. I can field those now if you'd like, or work with folks that have been planning those events and go from there. So I will say we are working with the folks that have been planning those events to try to get the necessary pieces in place. The more advance notice you can give us on what you want to do, the more likely it is that we can get whatever is needed in place in time for the event. So I think that's all.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, was the vendor that you wanted that wasn't approved? Like, are we trying to find someone that like do we want more like traditional like soul food? Is that like part of the issue? Or are we trying to or if we can't find that, do we just want to find someone that's like more in general? I know like some of the approved vendors and stuff, so like I just wonder.
So I don't know what the thought was in coming up with the caterer that you all landed on. They are not currently an approved vendor for the city. I believe they've submitted a form to become one with the controller's office. I don't think that's been fully processed yet. So my concern with them is by the time they're added into our system and we will reach out to them to get a contract or an agreement in place to provide catering services, it's 2 weeks out from the event. I'm not sure that's feasible. The city does have approved caterers or food providers that are vendors. Same issue. We're 2 weeks out, and reaching out to any of them to provide catering services might not be feasible. There may be a possibility that we can just provide refreshments on our own. We can get snacks or food and just bring that, but I don't know why that caterer in particular was chosen.
I believe the intention was to find a Black-owned small business in Bloomington.
Which,
but yeah, the timing was,
I love the intent. Getting them added to the system. Ash and I really try not to be the stick in the mud, but when we're relying on other city departments to do things, the controller's office or the legal department, we just can't guarantee how quickly things happen. And so with that, I don't know that there's enough time to get what we need in place to be able to commit paying them.
The person lives and works, well, the person works in Bloomington and grew up in Bloomington, but I didn't realize they recently moved to Martinsville. And so I think that is one of the things that the city had a question about, but it's an African-American owned business. So that's part of what we were looking for, and that was hard to find. So I don't know where we can just buy barbecue to bring to the event.
Well, I would say, having them added as a vendor might be a good idea anyway for the future. If there are future events that the commission puts on and you want to, come back to them, they'll have already gone through that hoop. You're right, I don't know where we can get barbecue.
So we might just need to talk in the reparations committee about arranging us purchasing our own food and beverages to bring to the event.
Well, so what I would suggest is working with Ash to figure out, okay, if we can't have a
Okay.
caterer, what else might we want? Do we want just some snacks and drinks that we can go buy at a grocery store? I think that's probably doable. But hiring someone to provide services on our behalf, if that requires a contract, it's gonna be tough.
Mm.
I don't know if it would be allowed, but I do have access to a commissary kitchen that I've been working out of the One World Commissary, and I still paid through November. Like if it was something that we wanted to, like if it needed preparation, I could manage that. Like if we wanted to bring us, volunteers to come and help with that, I'm happy to do that if it's possible. I know I'm free that weekend, so if it requires prep, we could do it there. But if it needs to just be purchased and
Yeah,
like sealed, then that's fine too.
yeah, if we're talking about preparing food for the event ourselves, then it brings to mind questions about liability. Do we have, are we covered through the History Center? So again, talk about what you might want to do and work with Ash, and we'll figure out what's possible. Certainly buying, food and then just bringing it to the event might be possible, but yeah, I'm worried about keeping things heated and having, yeah.
I have a flat too.
Okay.
I could cater it myself.
Yeah, if that's an idea, we can certainly look into that, and that we can get an answer, I think, relatively quickly, so. Yeah, other questions, for the February event? I know Najla's been working with IU Cinema. There's a draft agreement or an agreement that she's been working on that we're kind of vetting with city legal, so we're hoping to get that event in motion. It sounds like you all have been working with a lot of community partners on that. So in all of this, I guess my caution is to not commit the city to anything before you have the answer. The commission itself, individual members don't have authority to contract on behalf of the city. And so before you promise, hey, the city's going to pay for something or do X, Y, and Z, work through staff to make sure that's something we have the money for, we are allowed to do, and we can do. So.
Thank you. I think we were definitely a little unsure of our process and then just didn't cover all of our bases there.
And I apologize. I know the commission was hoping to have money budgeted for different things. And then once it was this year, we probably did a bad job. I probably did a bad job of telling you, hey, look, it's been budgeted, but these things need to happen before we can actually make use of it. So I'll try to be better about proactively telling you all what needs to happen, but always just work through the staff liaison, and we'll be as responsive as we can to what you all want to do. We want to help you do these things and make them successful. So just involve us as early as possible.
I have another question.
Yeah.
So with the contract for Yael, is the Monroe County History Center working with you on that, or is that something that I need to do?
No, so Ash and I have been working to prepare a contract or a memorandum of understanding with the History Center.
Okay.
I'm optimistic we can get that in place and cover I think it's $175. So I think that part of it should be feasible. But you all, in no circumstances, should be drafting agreements. Now, certainly, if you're in communication with, the History Center or some other venue, and they say, hey, we know you want to put on an event. We have a standard, event use agreement or a space use agreement or contract that they use that they share with you. Just send that to us. We'll share it with legal as needed. And a lot of places may have something that they use, but I think in this case, we're drafting something for them.
I just
And,
didn't know if I needed a vendor agreement since she's not been a vendor.
The History Center, I believe, is covering her fee, and then they're gonna bill us, and the History Center is an approved vendor, is my
Okay.
understanding.
I just
That
didn't
one-
know. I've been trying to do a lot, so
Yeah.
I've been trying to take care of everything, and it's been work.
I appreciate the work you all have put into these events. I'm not dismissing how much work it is, so I just want it to be successful work. Any other questions? I know this kind of probably leaked into your next agenda item, so thanks for humoring me. And again, Ash and I are here to help support the work of the commission. So reach out with questions early and often, and welcome to the new members that I've not met before. This is important work. And yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you,
joining us.
Stephen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for the clarification.
yeah.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Tammy.
Enjoy it. So I think in the interest of conducting business, that we should move to new business because we have to figure out making sure the meeting time works for a majority of us. We have this here. But Patty's going to have to go relatively soon, and Patty also had spearheaded the other item on new business. Oh, no, other business. Sorry. So under other business, A is defining the new meeting time, and B is the one that Patty.
Is it allowed for us to do other business B right now?
Yeah, if you all agree, I mean, you technically one person can make a motion to amend the agenda.
Okay. I move that we amend the agenda to do 7B right now, since I will be having to leave actually in 5 to 10 minutes.
I second it.
Do we have to?
Go around.
Candy?
Yes.
Sophia? That maybe. And
Yes.
yeah, awesome. Najla
Yes,
and Tom?
Yes.
Simon?
Yes.
Jason, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I hope that you all had a chance to look at the resolution. If you haven't, it's in the packet and it's not very long if you want to take a little look over, but I'll also direct your attention to the summary at the bottom of page 5. That says, this Community Advisory on Public Safety Commission resolution asks the City of Bloomington Common Council and the mayor to declare the city a safe haven for transgender youth in response to recent state legislation that bans gender-affirming healthcare for minors, restricts educational materials with LGBTQ+ themes in municipal schools, and requires parental notification of nomenclature and pronoun change requests from students in municipal schools. The commission asks the city to create a policy or policies consistent with the principles set forth in the resolution. So this is a response to a bill that was passed in the 2023 session of the IGA. And as I mentioned in the synopsis, it does ban gender affirming care. It violates the privacy of LGBTQ+ youth and students. And it's my belief, and I hope you all might agree, that this is definitely a matter of public safety. There's a lot of good information in there about how these changes can affect the mental health and the safety of LGBTQ+ youth. And at this time, the ACLU has filed a class action lawsuit and against the policy. The US District Court did grant a partial preliminary injunction. And at this time, we're recommending that it's a very important time in the space that this is up in the air for the city of Bloomington to make a statement that this is a safe haven, sorry, I'm in trouble talking right now, for transgender youth. And this entire proposition really is modeled also after a Kansas City resolution as well. And Ash and one of our former commissioners, Carolyn, worked a lot on this. So do you have any concerns or corrections, questions about the resolution? Okay, well, I am going to move that we as a commission vote to pass, adopt, pass the resolution. And send it to the office of the mayor and the council.
I second it. I'll second that. So I say yes.
And Sophia in the chat,
Yes.
awesome, and Najla,
Yes.
and we'll come back to the room, Tom,
Yes.
Tyler.
So I would like to read over this more, before saying yes or no. I just want to know,
Do you want to abstain?
yeah.
Yeah, that's also.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Since then,
And I'll say yes.
yes.
Yes, yes.
And I do have to go, but in your future discussion of timing, I would just like to say that this time is actually fine for me if it's not on the first Wednesday. And then my availability is on the Google Drive.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your next.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
So to conclude other business, I think we can move to that new meeting time. So on the Google Drive, I saw you all, the new members uploaded your availability, and what Patty just spoke to is it looks like this Wednesday time is a pretty good time, just not on the first. So maybe on the second Wednesday could work out. I think I know you had said you'd made a note in yours.
Yeah, so, as long as, like, it could be the second Wednesday or on first Wednesday, it doesn't matter as long as, I know the time, so, yeah.
Second Wednesdays don't work for me because I didn't put that note in there, but it's the one day out of the month I have to go to the office and then, so,
Would third Wednesdays work?
yeah, for sure.
From a staffing standpoint, I know, the common council schedule has not been adopted yet for the 2024 year. But in thinking of this year's, if they adopt a schedule that is like this year's schedule, they would have regular sessions the first 3 Wednesdays and not on the fourth Wednesday. So from a staffing perspective, in case that's what Stephen had to leave, if for some reason, there's a staffing overlap, it would be easiest for our office if we could do 4 Wednesdays, so there's a guarantee no overlap with this meeting and council meetings. But if 4 Wednesdays don't work for folks, I can adjust. It would just be kind of this meeting would end at 6, and if I need to staff downstairs, it would be kind of a close between 6 and 6:30. Not undoable, but if you all can do 4 Wednesdays,
That'd be most convenient.
yes, for our office.
And and I can do fourth Wednesdays. So,
Me too.
as well, any on Zoom fourth Wednesday, sound good?
That's fine.
Okay.
Wednesdays are good for me.
And then as far as timing, I know, I think one of the members that resigned was saying, expressing the earlier the better, but we were saying, you know, the earliest we could start was like 3, but you know, what's the earliest?
So. 2, I would say like between 2 and 2:30 would be the earliest.
Okay, well, because tonight started at 4:30.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so fourth Wednesday, 4:30 to 6 p.m. That sounds good.
Mhm.
You know, have to have a vote on it if someone make a motion and then you vote on it as a commission, so that's your January through December 2024 schedule.
Okay.
So Patty said the second Wednesday, so she technically didn't vote on
But
it.
since she left, she's no longer able to vote, but you still have 5 members of the forum, and you actually have more than that to be able to.
But she wanted to make sure we didn't vote for the second Wednesday. So the fourth Wednesday will work. Well, I will make a motion that we move our meetings to the fourth Wednesday from 4:30 to 6. Second, okay, do we have to do, okay, so we'll do a vote on that. So Cammy,
Yes.
right, and Sophia and chat. Yes, and Najla,
Yes.
okay, come back to the room, Todd.
Yes.
Tyler. I'll say yes.
Yes, yes.
All right, that passes unanimously. So that means,
Starting in January, is that the form of your motion?
yeah,
Okay.
we'll work it in January. So December, we'll leave for holidays as they are, and we'll return next year. So welcome to this year, and we'll see you next year.
As it currently stands, you do have a meeting scheduled for December 6th at 4:30. So if you want to still have that meeting, you can, you don't have to do anything to change that. If you want to change that, you can vote to change that right now,
Okay,
or cancel, or whatever you all want to do.
yeah. So last year we canceled the December meetings. Is that something we want to do? Do we want to hold the 6th? Do we want to meet the fourth Wednesday? So,
I don't know. What Wednesday,
Wednesday falls on the 27th.
so I might be out of the office.
Yeah.
So I know Steven's gonna be out of the office, I might be out of the office.
so then that moves the discussion to, do we want to meet on the 6th or just cancel that and meet next year?
Oh,
So-
I just wanted to, this is Najla. I just wanted to add in that, I agree with, canceling the December regular session meetings. But I would, very much like to continue the outreach committee, simply because we are doing a lot of really important, work on a deadline to plan that February event. As far as, getting co-sponsors, getting rooms, getting speakers, all that is kind of stuff that can't really wait until January to be done. And so I would like to continue having the outreach committee meetings on schedule, if that's okay with you all. You and Patty and Sophia.
Yeah, that can work.
Yeah. Would any of our new members be interested in attending the next outreach committee meetings? We meet every 2 weeks.
I would be interested. Yeah, when would that meeting take place? Like when would the next one be?
So what we'll do is, if you guys are interested in joining, I'll just send out an email to, schedule the next one at a time when we can all meet.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and for that first one, you wouldn't, because we had adopted the rules. So for the first one, you wouldn't have to join officially. You could attend a meeting before committing to being on the committee.
Okay.
That way, if you're interested, but then found out it couldn't work, that doesn't change the quorum yet. So, but also, like, if you were interested and then found out maybe it's beyond the scope, you wouldn't have pressure. Like, you're definitely welcome.
Okay, yeah, thanks so much. I'll definitely include the two of you I'm sorry, I joined late. I didn't catch your names, but I'll catch it on the website and definitely include you both to schedule the next outreach committee meeting soon.
Thank you.
And just keep me in the loop as to when you want to have it, so I can get the notices out.
Cool.
So, where are you at on December?
If you all are undecided too, I mean, it's on the calendar, you can do it on the calendar and then later decide you don't want to have it. But for right now, it's currently set for December 6th or 4th.
I know during that time, I will have, that's pushing into finals, and I'll also be cat sitting. So it would be.
And Patty's probably unavailable to celebrate.
So it'd be preferable to me to cancel it, and just continue with the work of the outreach committee.
Okay, well, canceling, it's fine with me.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, so I move to cancel the December 6th meeting of the regular session.
A second that.
Second. And then we have to do voice vote. So Kim,
Yay.
Sophia, in chat,
Yeah.
Nisha,
Yes.
awesome. And Todd,
Yes.
Tyler, me, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So that vote carries. So the next time we will meet as a whole, is in January, and we'll keep you posted on the outreach. Okay, so we had jumped forward, and we skipped over the brief recess. So we cut the brief recess in, to entertain in case we do need it. But if we want to move through things, we can vote to move past the recess if we want. So I will entertain so we'll either take a recess now, or I'll entertain suggestions to just keep going.
Also,
Keep going. Anybody on Zoom want to take a recess?
Keep going.
No, I thought we were almost done and my battery's about to die. So if I disappear, that's why. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So I think we have already covered logistics of event spending. So Stephen touched on that. Anything else? Okay, so we can return to that next time if we come up with other concerns. So the next item we'll move to in new business is item B, sub-item B, the Common Council Special Committee on Council Process request for feedback, and then by November 20th.
Yeah, and I got an email, I can explain this, since I got an email from the council office on behalf of that committee asking for feedback. So basically, the Common Council made a special committee on council processes to review rules, and specifically they are looking at a report done by the Novak group on boards and commissions. Since this is a commission, they're including that in the review. What they're looking for is they want the CAPS Commission to review the code provisions that govern your commission. So that's in the Bloomington Municipal Code. If you have any desire to propose changes to those codes. So I think, for example, one of those code sections says you have to meet once a month and meet at least 4 times a year, and you can always cancel a meeting if you have needed. Sometimes if you want to see changes to code, things haven't been working, you know, provide that feedback. You don't have to do any, if you don't have any changes you would want to see in the code that governs how your commission works. But they're doing this for all boards and commissions. Let's see. Yeah, so they're doing this for all boards and commissions, asking you all to look at the code provisions. I can double check and give you the code citation.
I have a question.
So the Community Advisory and Public Safety Commission, if you wanted to look, is under Bloomington Municipal Code 2.12.12. It explains, and I think in this email in the packet from the community, it says, I can find it. Yeah, so it was the code citation 2.1, 2.1. The establishment and purpose and the powers and duties, and I want you all to kind of look at this, see if there's anything that you want to change, what's working, what's not working, et cetera. There's enough language on that. So yes, make sure you're question. For batteries diagrams.
Okay. Yeah, you saw it. She's like, my battery. Okay, but so they just want feedback. So we can probably usually to some of the question.
And they were hoping to get that feedback by the end of this month, if possible. I think, you know, they sent out this email in September, but you all had your meeting with people in October. So it's going to be waiting to see it until now, but they're hoping to get. They'd appreciate if a response would be provided by November 20th, if that's possible. So, then you had any concerns, questions, anything like that, feel free to reach out. But they're definitely doing this for all boards and commissions, and are just looking for feedback on the code provisions that govern. If that makes sense.
Cool. Well, thank you for keeping us informed. And we'll see what Dacia's question was, and we can keep in contact with each other. On that feedback. That also reminds me, Ashley sent out something about a student wanting to interview.
Yes, that was actually something I was gonna put in my staff report. I think I just really wanted to see who go to talk. There was a student, Grace Ball, a new student, requested to interview folks on the Campus Commission about the engagement efforts that you all have done in regards to the public safety. I think, you know, you're free to talk to that person about, you know, what you've done, your research efforts, your stakeholder community engagement efforts. My only caution is, you know, to not speak for the city about any of its own community safety efforts, if that makes sense. Because I think, you know, that person could also talk to other entities as well as get direct information about, you know, what cities directly doing. But if they want to know more about your research, your work, then you can. So I think I forwarded that email on to you all. The student's name is Grace Ball. I think that person attended a committee meeting via Zoom. So the person is familiar with some of what they've done.
Yeah, I actually remember that. It was the last outreach meeting.
Yes,
that's why the name sounded familiar.
Yeah, that person's more interested in talking to you all, so.
Okay, and certainly new members, you don't really have things to draw from, so you probably wouldn't have any answers. But it's good. I think it's good. And I think I said in my email response ahead of this meeting that I'm always advocating for those bridges that bridge what people call the town and gown divide. So anytime we can work in IU, and our committee specifically, or our commission specifically has worked with classes at IU, and through IU programs. So I think this is a good chance for us to kind of feedback and maintain those connections. So I think that's all the business we have. So that brings us, I guess, to topic suggestions. And so I think I also said in my email, like, if you have topic suggestions, feel free to bring them. You don't need to feel pressured to introduce new things. We certainly, in our committees, have advanced work that require bringing answers in. But I guess this is a point to say, like, if you have ideas in what you think we can do to either change things we're already doing, or you hear about a need in the community, feel free to bring them to discussion. And that's what this section is for. With that, I'll open. Does anybody have topic suggestions for future agendas? Okay, so.
I'm a little busy with what I'm working on now.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, well, then I guess that brings us to item 9, which is adjournment. So I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
You don't need to, you don't? Co-chair can just adjourn.
Oh, I have the power and say we are adjourned. So thank you for the.